How to buy an RV if you have no money. How do you do it? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that right now. Hey there, welcome back. I'm Dr. Dave, also known as the RV Dummy, and thank you so much for being with me today. I think you're going to love this show because I'm going to answer the question, the age-old question on what do you do if you really have the RV itch, you really want to buy something, but you just don't have the funds to do it. Well, I'm going to share this with you right this second. By the way, if you like what you see today, if you're not yet a subscriber, make sure you press that subscribe button. It's going to be there the whole time. And once you subscribe, you'll be privy to videos as they come out. Just make sure you enable your notifications. So every time we put a new one out, you'll get notified. So we got some questions from you all, and they mainly pertain to the same topic. I kind of saved these, and they're really, really good. So let's get right into them. Dr. Dave, I have been following you for a few months, and I like your straightforwardness and presentation. Your content has been very helpful. Yes, I am a Dave Ramsey fan, but what I'm about to lay out for you is about 180 degrees from both your philosophies on finances. I am 74 years old. My wife is 69 and in excellent health. Good going. I love to hear that. We are retired and relocated from Maryland to Alabama, where we built our $600,000 dream home. Most people downsize, we upsized. We financed $200,000 because money was so cheap. Yeah, money's always cheap, right? Money's always cheap. We have $750,000 invested in a managed 401k. Good for you. We have a yearly income of $70,000 and no other debt. We think buying an RV and taking extended trips with the dogs and our grandkids would give us the flexibility we are looking for. We have been exploring the market, and we've decided on a used Class A in the, ready for this, in the $180,000 range. A used Class A in the $180,000 range. We're figuring on keeping it 4 or 5 years. Since we are as old as we are, we'd like to hang on to as much money as possible, taking as little of the 401k as needed. I'm going to read the final question. We would like to keep up with the depreciation so we're not underwater. What do you think? Do we use someone else's money and pay interest, or our own money and pay taxes? Dave from Morris, Alabama. Dave, how long have you been following me? Question mark. How long have you been following my very good friend Dave Ramsey? Question mark. All kidding aside, Dave, listen. I've got a philosophy in my life. I just don't borrow money. I don't borrow money. If there's something I can't afford, I buy something cheaper. I don't buy something that I can't afford. Now, you clearly have the money to do this, but yeah, you'd be sacrificing taking money out of your 401k. My feeling on this is, why do you need a $180,000 rig? You're 74 years old. Why do you need to spend close to, it's going to be $200,000 by the time you're done with it. It's going to be more than that because there's always stuff you have to do with it. $200,000 rig to keep it 4 or 5 years. I'm not a fan, Dave. I'm real. And now you might have your heart set on it. You might love it. Here's my philosophy. Again, you said borrow money because the economy is fantastic now. It's going great. Well, we don't know. As I'm recording this, we just had one of the worst weeks ever last week in the stock market, in the United States stock market. Things went down horribly. We don't know what's going to happen. You can't say the economy is doing great because you just never know. That's why if you stick to the philosophy that I'm always going to buy what I can afford, I'm always going to buy what I could just pay cash for, you never have to worry about what the economy is doing because you've got the money, you're paying cash for what you have, and you never have to finance it and worry about if you're going to be able to pay it back and what's going to happen. Dave, no, please don't do it. Don't borrow money. Don't do it. Buy what you can afford. Find something much, much, much less. I know it's not what you want to hear. I know it's not what you want to hear, but please do it. Next question. Okay, RV Dummy, I have a question. You can always say, get what you can afford. So we have a nice little 2000 Ford Ranger extended cab. Lots of new parts. So I thought, okay, I'll trade the truck we don't use for a used RV to someone who would like a truck but no longer needs their RV. Oh, that'll be easy to find, sure. But my husband thinks we need a newer, beautiful RV, even though we can't afford it. Well, I'm glad that you're admitting you can't afford it. I'm glad. And even if we could, I don't want to be in debt anymore. Good for you. You're smart, smarter than your husband, maybe. Hell, we can't even qualify for more. Listen to this. She says, we can't even qualify for more credit. If you're in that situation, you can't qualify for credit, you're in big trouble. Don't get something you can't afford. If you can't qualify for more credit, that means you're in tremendous amount of debt, or you don't have enough money coming in or something. She says, that's not the idea of our RVing. Well, what do you think? I've had offers, but the RVs are in the $80,000 to $90,000 range, but they are good RVs. Well, I guess they are. Again, 80 to 90 to 100,000. Of course the RV is good, but you can't afford it. I mean, look, I'd like to live in a $5 million house. No, I really wouldn't. I really don't, but it is an example. It's just an illustration. I'd like to live in a $5 million house. I can't really afford to pay cash, so I'm just going to take this tremendous mortgage out and make payments. Well, no, that's stupid, because something's going to happen where I won't be able to make those payments, and I'm going to be screwed. Guys, there's a reoccurring theme here. And the reoccurring theme, and I know many of you are probably pissed as hell at me right now because the title of this show is How to Buy an RV If You Have No Money. Well, do you really think there's some kind of scheme out there? Do you really want me to tell you some kind of scheme where you can buy an RV and borrow other people's money and no money down? No, I'm not going to tell you to do that. You know why? And you can hate me. You can unsubscribe. You can say, I'm never watching this guy again because he's clickbait. No, it's not clickbait. This is not clickbait. This is real life. And for those of you that think you can just buy an RV if you don't have the money, it's like, why not buy anything if you don't have the money? Why not? I'm going to go buy me a shopping mall. No, I don't have the money to do that. I'm going to go buy a football stadium. I'm going to buy a football team. No, I don't have the money to do that. Well, RVs are not the same league as a football. Right. Well, they kind of are. If you want to pay $100,000 for something and you don't have the money for it, that's tremendous. Yeah, you can't do it. You just can't do it. Well, Dave, you're ruining my life because I want to buy an RV and take my grandkids and my kids and my family, and you're ruining my life. And I deserve to be able to. You deserve to be able to do things you can afford, sir or ma'am. Yeah, anything you can afford to look. If you've got $20 million to your name and you want to go out and buy $1 million RV, then fine. Spend a 20th of your wealth and go out and pay cash for $1 million RV. And that's an illustration again. But don't yell at me. Don't be pissed at me because I'm telling you to please buy what you can afford. What are you going to go buy? $20,000 worth of Christmas gifts for people that you can't afford to pay? No, you're not going to do that. I don't want you to do that. Only buy what you can afford, please. Next question. God, what do I have to do with y'all? I don't know. But by the way, that was from RV Butterfly. RV Butterfly, I love you, but it's not a good idea. Don't do that. Just sell the truck, and whatever you get, then buy an RV. It might be a $10,000 RV. I don't know, but only what you can afford, please. Oh God, you guys are killing me. Hi, Dave. How are you and Yoko doing? Ned, it's from Nettie. Nettie, we're doing great. Thanks so much. We're doing great. I have possibly found a leisure travel van, 1998 with 106,000 miles. One owner, asking price $15,000. Okay. All right. I can breathe a little better now. Saw it today and it's in good condition. Everything's working well. It has new tires. It's a Ram chassis, 350, and carpet is in excellent condition. No rust. The seats show a little wearing. Okay, that's all right. That part's all right. The engine sounds good. Well, that's fantastic. But of course, you always have a mechanic check it out. But it's good that it sounds good for sure. I'm going to see if I can find a similar van for price checking reasons. How does this sound to you, Nettie? Nettie, thanks so much for asking. I'm not looking it up as we speak, but just from what you're saying, a leisure travel van, it's a Class B. That is $15,000. It's about a 1998. Again, it's hard to say. I think you're doing the right thing by comparing others, because you could look it up in the Blue Book or whatever book you look at. But a lot of people think their van is worth more than what's listed on the internet. And that's fine if they can get it. But when you start looking online and start seeing a whole bunch of them at a certain price range, you can kind of zero in and say that's probably a fair price. I would go in, Nettie, and if they're asking 15, if everything looks pretty good, you have it checked out by your RV mechanic. When it gets to be that age, I mean, you really got to get it checked out. You really do. I would go in and offer them less than that and just see what happens. And tell you got cash. Tell them you're a cash buyer, no contingencies. You're serious. You're going to do it, and then make your best deal possible. But it's you're certainly starting the right way, Nettie, and I'm really glad to hear that. Good for you. Thanks for writing in. Next question. Hi, Dr. Dave and Yoko and Boo Boo. I've been following along for quite a while. I enjoy your content on YouTube and appreciate all of the great advice and tips. I do have a question for you. Perhaps point me in the right direction. I'll try my best to point you in the right direction. I'll try. Full-time RVing has been calling me. I love it. I'm ready. Literally, I've been getting ready for months. And your last video just pushed me over the edge. I've been looking at Class C's forever now, but I have no idea what I'm doing or who to trust. I'm trying to learn all that I can to make informed decisions. I do not know what kind to buy. Also, I have $30,000 to my name. Not $30,000 to buy on a rig, $30,000 to my name. That is food, shelter, clothing, water, insurance, gas, $30,000 to my name. Keep that in mind. That's it. So would you suggest that I invest that money instead of buying an RV? And if so, what type of investments? Or maybe I could invest and buy an RV. I'm screaming. I love this letter. This is from Amber. I love it. She's screaming. I don't know what to do. She says, I don't know what to do inside my head. Haha, any advice would be helpful. Again, I love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thanks for your time, Amber. Amber, this is a great letter. You spelled everything out there. I appreciate it. You didn't give me your age, but you did say you have $30,000 to your name. And that's a little bit scary because I'm also wondering, do you have any debt? What kind of expenses do you have? What's your monthly budget like? So you didn't really give me enough information, but the information you gave me is that all you have is $30,000. I mean, you probably just need that almost in an emergency fund in case something goes wrong. I just wouldn't go spending that right now. I think from what you're telling me, this time is not right now for you to go get an RV. Work hard, save money, spend less than you make, pay off all debt, make sure you've got no debt. Once you do that and you start accumulating money, then it's time to buy an RV that you can afford. But right now, Amber, it sounds to me like it's a little bit early. You're a little bit thin there on the amount of money you have to your name, $30,000. Yeah, be careful, Amber. I'm so glad you like the lifestyle. I'm loving the lifestyle. I'm loving my RV. But again, I bought what I could afford, and we have the money to do it. So just be very careful. See, I don't want to see any of you all, you might think I'm being really rigid, really tough, only buy what you can afford. I mean, God, it's profound, isn't it? Only buy something you can afford. But some people still get pissed at me. But I'm really only looking out for you because, okay, look, if you go out and buy a $100,000 RV and you can't afford it and you get in trouble and in debt and it doesn't hurt me at all. I'm here living my life, doing my thing. But I was put on this earth, it seems like, to teach, to help, to guide, to mentor. I've been doing this in some capacity, teaching and helping and guiding, coaching for decades now. And I really do care about my friends, and you're my friends. I care about you guys, and that's why I tell you, please be careful and don't buy something you can't afford. Like if I didn't care about you, I would just say, go borrow all the money and go, it's fine. But I care about you. There might be other channels where they try to get more subscribers and you can truly get an RV for free if you don't have any money. But it's dangerous. You don't want to do that. Please don't endanger your life or your money. Please be so super careful. And again, be careful. Okay, next one is from Coco. Hello, I can't tell you how much I enjoy your life video clips with you and Yoko and how open you are with life choices. I've been having the exact same thoughts about just selling everything and hitting the road, but I was afraid to express it to anyone. You can express it to me because I'm the RV dummy and I'm compassionate. I love hearing from you. I was uncertain of their responses that they maybe I'm lost. I've lost my mind after watching your tapes and other RV comments. I'm so relieved that others are like-minded. So last week, I bought an Airstream and getting ready for freedom. You're a great inspiration. Best regards, Coco. So there's no true question here, but Coco went ahead. He's been watching my videos. He bought an Airstream. I'm hoping he did it the right way. I'm guessing he did. If Coco's a he, Coco could be a she. I'm not sure, but let's say it's a he. But Coco, if you're he or she, whatever. I hope you did it the right way. And why do I feel that Coco just did it the right way? Why do I feel that Coco spent the money that he or she could afford, and bought an Airstream, and now is having a great time? When you buy something you can afford, you're not stressed about the money. Something breaks down, you didn't spend your last dime, you can afford to have it fixed, you can afford to upgrade it, whatever you want to do. It's a great feeling. That's why, again, guys, there's been a theme for this show today, and I just want to, it seems like I repeat myself, but sometimes people just don't get it. They don't get it. And I care about your well-being, guys. I really do. When you have money and you spend less money than you make, you can use money to buy things at a later date. You can give money to charity, or you can invest your money and have it grow more. Spend less than you make, pay off debt, have an emergency fund, and only buy things that you absolutely need and can afford or want, have a strong want for, but just don't go buying things. I spent the last year, Yoko and I spent the last year getting rid of things that we've accumulated that don't really do anything for us anymore. They cost money. So don't buy things if we don't need them. Please think about it first. Guys, yeah, you made me thirsty. I'll see you next time. I got a real good show coming up for you as soon as I can record the next one. I think this is a great one. I hope you take it seriously. Do what I say. Love you all. See you later. Dr. Dave, the RV dummy. See you next time.